You are choosing things without knowing you're doing it, which must mean you don't know how you're making your choices. And humans say, it's clear to me how I make my choices. I look at things I want and I say, yes, I choose you. And I look at things I don't want and I say, no, I don't choose you. And we say, now we understand what's going wrong. Because when you say yes to something, your attention to it invites it into your experience. When you say no to something, your attention to it invites it into your experience. And what we think is so interesting about so many of our physical human friends is that more of them are spending more time pointing at and talking about what they don't want than they are talking about what they do want, which is the reason that so many humans have literally separated themselves, too strong of word, but we want to make a strong point, have separated themselves from who they really are. Most of you stand in this place of defending why you need or want something better. You say, as if you were pleading to your mother, you did that when you were little, I need it, I really need it. Mother, I really want this. Well, we all want things, son. You don't get what you want. Many mothers say that, misguided beings that they are. You don't get what you want. Well, I need it. Oh, well, that's different. How badly do you need it? I will die if I don't have it. As you plead your neediest cases, that's when your mother gives up the goods. That's when people who are weary of your complaining cave in and say, all right, take the car. But we're wanting you to understand that even though humans may cave in to your negative demands or pleading, the universe never ever gives you what you want when you're beating the drum of what you don't want. Every time you are justifying how much you need something, you are vibrationally preventing yourself from having what you want. You cannot offer the frequency of need and desire at the same time. You cannot be a vibrational match to what you want and its absence at the same time. More often than not, when you have been without something that you want for a while, when you talk about it, you usually talk about it from your disappointed place of not yet having it. And what we want you to come to remember as a result of our conversation here today is that that disappointment that you feel is your indicator about which end of the stick you are vibrating on. Because every subject is two subjects, what you want and lack of it. So, for example, let's say that you go to your mailbox, you have a pile of bills, you have that sick feeling in your stomach because you know you have overspent, you have more to pay than you have money with which to pay it, at least right now. And you are disappointed, maybe even fearful, you are really uneasy, and you sit to contemplate your bills, and you begin a dialogue, maybe with someone in the room, maybe in your own mind, and you say things like, I don't have enough money. Now, someone watching you from another human perspective might very well say, good for you for facing up to where you are and telling the truth about your financial plight. We would say, if you keep talking about where you are, you can't move to a more prosperous place. Every time you beat the drum of not enough money, not enough money, not enough money, even though there are piles of money waiting for you in vibrational escrow, because you've put them there every time you've asked, every time you've wanted something, every time you've felt disappointment about not enough money, you've asked for more, and the universe has lined up circumstances and events to provide it for you. But as you talk about not enough money, as you continue to carry on that dialogue that continues to cause you to feel fear or disappointment, you hold yourself in a vibration apart from the very money you've asked for. So then that's why, as we say to you, ask, and it is given. In fact, we are so sure of that, we've written a book, the best book ever written, with the best title ever given to a book. We love the title because the title tells you the whole story. When you ask, it is given. And then our human friends say, well, then where is my stuff? If I have been asking, and I know I have, and Source has been giving, and you say Source has, then where is what I've been asking for? Because it is not showing up in my experience. And we say, it is showing up in your vibrational experience, but you are preventing it from having manifestation right in front of you because you are so determined to justify why you need your stuff. You're still beating the drum of where's my stuff? Where's my stuff? How come he's got stuff? I don't have any stuff. Where did he get all his stuff? It's not fair that he got all that stuff. I want more stuff. I need more stuff. I want more stuff. I need more stuff. I don't have enough stuff. It isn't fair that I don't have enough stuff. I'm going to join a club, people with not enough stuff. Do you want to join my club? We'll get together and we'll talk about how we don't have enough stuff, and we'll complain about not having enough stuff, and even more, we will complain about the people that have more stuff. Because it's wrong that they have all that stuff. There must be something wrong with the system. There must be something wrong. Why does he get the stuff and we don't get the stuff? Are you with me? He's got the stuff. We don't have any stuff. What are we going to do about them with the stuff? Oh, let's pass some laws. Let's pass some laws, because there are a lot more of us that don't have stuff than those that do have stuff. So let's get together and we'll pass some laws, and we'll take their stuff away from them, and we'll spread it out among us that don't have any stuff. We've got the votes. Let's do it. So the laws are passed. The stuff is moved from over there to over here, but it doesn't stay there. It keeps moving back over here. Well, we'll take more of their stuff and we'll move it over here, but it doesn't stay there. Because when you're beating the drum of not enough stuff, there are not enough laws or actions in the world to compensate for your vibration of resistance of the abundance that you are asking for. And those that are in the vibration, whether they were born into it and just learned it from those who surrounded them, or whether they worked their way up the emotional scale, or whether they just got tired of feeling bad and reached for better feeling thoughts, those who are focused upon thoughts that make them feel good maintain a consistent vibrational alignment with everything that they've been asking for, and they continue to be receivers, blatant, obvious receivers of abundance. And those who don't have their stuff yet, who feel unhappy about those who do, continue to beat the drum, but the laws of the universe remain constant. You cannot buck the current of law of attraction. Law of attraction says that which is likened to itself is drawn. And if you feel poor, abundance cannot come to you, not because you don't want it, and not because you don't deserve it, and not because someone else is keeping it away from you, but because you have developed a habit of thought that offers a frequency that is on the end of the stick of lack of money rather than on the end of the stick of money. So no matter what it is that is the subject of your desire, you must find a way of becoming a vibrational match to the true subject of your desire. You cannot set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m. and hear what's being broadcast on 98.7 FM. The frequencies have to match up. And if they don't match up, then you don't get the message. You don't get the stuff. You don't live the experience. So what we notice is happening with most of our physical friends is that because you are so completely absorbed into your physical experience, and that is a good thing, and you are so good at viewing it through your eyes, through your ears, through your nose, through your fingertips, through your tongue, as you are devouring the details of your time-space reality, most of the vibration that you offer is because of what you are observing. When you give your attention to something, it's already offering a vibration. And if you give it your attention for as little as 17 seconds, you activate the vibration of the subject of your interest within your own vibrational pattern. So when you give your attention to something for as little as 17 seconds, an activation occurs and law of attraction kicks in, which means other thoughts like it are now being drawn to it. And in another 17 seconds, and then another, and then another, and then another, once you have given something your attention for as little as 68 seconds, you have activated a strong enough vibration that now it has real attraction power, and it's going to show up in your experience, wanted or unwanted. It's just the way the law works. When you spend your time observing what is and not deliberately offering your thought, just observing what is, when the majority of your thought process is about what is, then your life must continue to be pretty much like it is. In other words, different places, different faces, but the same theme keeps moving through your life. You are living good lives. Comparatively speaking, as you look around other humans, you're doing fine. But comparatively speaking, with what you could be doing, you are living mediocrity. Compared to what you could be doing, you are scantily beginning to discover the excellence that this time-space reality holds for you. You have not even begun to tap in to the vibrational escrow that you have personally amassed here in this physical life experience. You've not begun to live what you can live only because you do more observing about what is than you do thinking about where you're going. As you begin to train your mind to focus upon things you want rather than things you've got, as you begin to care so much about how you feel that you guide your thoughts based upon their feeling quality rather than upon their factual quality, as you care about how you feel rather than wanting to express the truth of a thing, there are a lot of things that are true that you don't want. And yet you feel virtuous because you express the truth. And we say, if you keep beating the drum of things that are true that you don't want, you keep creating more things that you don't want that are true. In other words, law of attraction does not discriminate. And that's the wonderful thing about law of attraction. It allows you your freedom to choose. You are so free, you can choose bondage, you see. Yesterday someone said, but what about those things that come out of the blue? And we say, nothing comes out of the blue, it comes out of the oblivious. In other words, nothing comes out of the blue if you are aware of the way you feel. And you can start right now. The next thing that happens that is big in nature, that feels really good or really bad, settle into it and say, oh, I can really feel this. And then reach for recent thoughts that evoke that same feeling and say to yourself, I saw this coming. I saw it coming. I sensed it coming. I felt it coming. I knew it was coming. Expectancy is about being aware that this behavior brings forth this experience. And we want you to begin to expect the manifestations that come from the patterns of thought, because that's how all things are created. Before there is what you call manifestation, there is strong, long, steady thought, consistent thought about it. So to be the deliberate creator of your reality, you want to direct your thoughts. When you are directing your thoughts, you have to know what is the direction that is leading you toward what you want and what is the direction that is leading you toward what you don't want. Have you ever had a decision to make and so you decided you would poll the people that are close to you? And every one of them gave you a different answer. This one said, do it. This one said, don't do it. This one said, do it, but do it this way. This one said, do it, but do it this way. They drive you out of your mind because they can't possibly give you guidance that is good for you. They can only give you guidance about you that is good for them. Because everyone must factor in how this fits into their life experience. Everyone is selfishly oriented. You cannot help but see through the eyes of self. When you go to the car dealer and you say to him, which do you think is the best car for me? He will tell you which is the best car for him to sell to you. He doesn't have the ability to factor in all of the things that you've been living that have made you know specifically what you want. If you leave it to him, he'll sell you what works best for him. When you go to the doctor or the dentist or to anyone who has something that they are offering to you, they cannot help but factor in their relationship with you as they are counseling you. And that is not a bad thing at all. And we certainly do not mean that they are not well-meaning in their effort to assist you. What we are saying is every time you interact with someone else, you get all kinds of vibrational interference is really the best word, because no one can guide you accurately. And it doesn't matter how precisely you tried to follow anybody else's advice. You cannot quantify your journey, and you cannot get from where you are to where you want to be by asking anyone outside of you what is the proper path. Religion cannot give it to you. Politics cannot give it to you. Your mother cannot give it to you, and your teacher cannot give it to you. No one can give you accurate guidance, but no one needs to, because you've got built-in guidance.